Good morning, Knicks fans. Oh, Yankee fans. I'm lost right now when it comes to my shows, but good morning, Yankee fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. Let me wake up and get my coffee and watch this intro.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat.
Oh, good morning, Yankees universe. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. I'm your guy, Hector, and like always, I'm joined with my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. TC, how you doing this fine morning?
Oh, man, I'm pumped up. Oh, my goodness. The Yankees are looking good, and we got a special guest, a special
Yes,
treat
sir.
for everybody.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before we bring up our guest, because he just popped up backstage, let me give a quick shout out to the chat. Let's do a little bit of the roll call. We got my guy Jonathan is in the building. Our friend Uncle Tats from the Pinstripe Chronicles is in the building. Emmanuel Morales is in the building. I see my guy Lorenzo Cardona is in the building. Grace Monroe, good morning. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. The good sir Vikings is in the building. Mr. James Cook is in the building. FJ is in the building. Mr. 161 himself, Jason, is in the building.
Yes,
of
sir.
course, we had to have a LI Yankee King sighting. We got LI Yankee King. We got KC Funtime. We got Jacob Petruzzi's in the building. Listen, fellas, we got 21 people who showed up right now. If you guys can, please smack the like button for your boys. And if you have any questions for our guest, Scott Braun, just put them in the chat, and then we'll relay the message to Scott, and we'll get his answer for whatever question that you got. But without further ado, let's bring up our friend from foul territory, Mr. Scott Braun is in the building. Scotty, how you doing?
Sir.
What's up, TC, Hector?
Can't even see you,
what's
Jigger.
happening? There he is.
There he is. There we
What's
go.
up, Scott?
Yes,
How you
sir.
doing?
All
What's
is good,
up? How you
Scott.
doing?
Good morning, brother.
How are
Derek
you
Jeter
guys?
back there. I like it.
I purposely set up here, and you know what? I'm on the iPad, so I might as well just swing it around here. We're in the
Nice.
one of the studios where we do the show.
Okay.
Nice.
As you can see here.
Very nice.
But I very strategically set myself up.
Of course you would,
Yeah.
man. You're Scott
behind
Braun.
me.
I wouldn't
Oh,
expect anything less from you,
Yeah.
Scott. But
I'm playing to the crowd.
That's
before
right.
we get into the conversation, Scott, I just got to give you congratulations. What you guys have started over there at Foul Territory has been amazing. You guys are holding it down. You, AJ Przinsky, Adam Jones, our friend Eric Kratz. You guys are just killing it. Todd Frazier himself.
Mhm.
Did you think that people would take to your guys' show like people have been taking to the show so far?
I appreciate it, guys, and I did. I mean, the reason for that being I just didn't see much coverage from former players in the game in terms of real talk coverage. So I appreciate the love. And yeah, I didn't see the prominent former players either from their playing career, like they have the resume, or like we're talking about. I mean, Eric Kratz will be the first person to tell you he wasn't an all-star, but he was a star in his own right for his voice, his relationships, and people and major names he worked with. Those guys just weren't popping up in baseball media. And I was like, that's weird. Why? So we tried to solve that problem and said, hey, let's set you up from your homes. Let's bring all of our friends together. And let's say whatever I can curse here, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Whatever the fuck we want. TV is too vanilla ice cream, and they don't let you say anything. So I was like,
that's
that,
right.
Everyone wants to hear real conversations. We weren't seeing that. You know, you get some of the, like, you get an occasional big name. Okay, like I'll give an example of our boy here, right? Jeter is going to be on TV, but you're going to get him in little doses.
Yeah.
You want these long form, all out debates. You want interviews with guys telling it like it really is.
Real talk.
So, to me and Lorenzo, you're right. this is my true calling as well. You know, I worked within the league for a long time and I had a good time with it, but I am having by far the time of my life talking about baseball because we can go where no one else is going. And I've interviewed thousands of players in my life, but the like 100 or so players that we've interviewed in the past few months are opening up, as you can probably see, in a very different way. And it's the way that we have conversations or have dinner with them or hang out with them in the clubhouse is what we're trying to bring, which I hadn't seen before. And I was like, basketball and football is doing this. Baseball's just as cool and full of personality. We're just not showing it off the right way.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about marketing when it comes down to it. And I know the first time we had a conversation, we was talking about Major League Baseball not marketing their product the right way. And I feel this is a perfect way to get it out there because you're getting a lot of players that are playing during the season coming onto your show. And like you said, it's the real talk for the real fans. And they're getting to be able to see the other side of players that they wouldn't be able to see if they tuned into either MLB Network or ESPN when they used to have the Baseball Tonights going on back in the days. And obviously they're trying to switch things up, but what you guys are doing over there is super special. I just wanted to give you your flowers when it comes to that real quick. TC, I know you had a question for Scott, and we're going to start off with your question for Scott. So let's rip it off right away. And if you guys can, hit that like button for your boys. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, Scott, I know you talked about this is your passion, what you're doing right now, but I wanted to ask how this compares to doing play-by-play for MLB. I mean, if that's something more that you prefer, or this is
number one for me, being able to talk with my friends who, you know, many on this show obviously played the game for a long time. This is definitely number one. I still love calling games, although I will say this, and of course I called games aside from MLB for YouTube for the past 4 years. That deal went away. We're still friends, YouTube and I, but YouTube, I guess, and MLB aren't friends as much because MLB is not on YouTube TV anymore. They're not doing the game of the week. I absolutely adored that package. Like that game package, especially last year, was myself and my good friend Yonder Alonso for the whole year together. And we tried to bring some of this conversation on there. We couldn't curse, but we tried to bring a little more realness and a little more of a
less watered down, right?
Yeah, and also we did a ton of fan interaction because within that platform you could comment, of course. So you didn't have to leave the platform. And I still think in general, and I can't believe it's been this long, but I still think most game broadcasts, especially for baseball, aren't bringing fan conversation into the mix as much, and they're really missing out. I mean, it's not that hard, right? Like you throw, I mean, for them, if they want to utilize, say, Twitter and say, hey, throw some questions out there, they should be answering questions and interacting with fans much more than they're doing right now. I know it's their job to document the game, but we know even with the pitch clock, there's enough time to do both. So we did that, especially last year on YouTube, and I had done games on Facebook when that was a thing years back. So it's extremely different because this is more of your interview and talk show type of content versus doing a game. But here's where I think it can all come together at some point. I think that alternate broadcast will continue to become a bigger part of the mix. And I don't think that baseball has even scratched the surface of how to do that. I don't think they've done it at all, basically.
Yeah.
There have been a handful of alt broadcasts that I've watched, and I'm like, okay, we got work to do. So I think that would be the next frontier to be able to bring both of those things together, right? Can we bring the foul territory theme and big names and open conversations into watching a game? The one example I will give, right? Your friends.
Pete at nyynewstv. Yeah.
So we went on, Kratz and I.
Amazing call by you guys. Also, it was an amazing watch.
That was fun. I mean, that more of that is what I would like to bring to the table because he's got a great thing going. But our guys, and I can't get them necessarily to do games every night. That's part of why we got them set up at home, and they've got their own lives going on. And they'll watch games, but they don't want to be locked in for day and night.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I do think there's much more to do there. We've talked about it since the jump, about eventually incorporating them on games because that would be awesome. And people watch games differently. They want to watch. They're cool. They'll see the screen, but they want to watch the games and have conversations with their friends, and also be able to like bitch when something's not going their way or they can't stand a player. But also someone like Kratz can like rein it back sometimes and be like, pump the brakes. You're freaking out about one play or a bad week, and he can kind of be the voice of reason out there. Therapy.
Yeah, but no, yeah. I think that is a great thing. Maybe you guys, Twitch, if CEO of Twitch, if you're listening right now, try to get my guys from Foul Territory something set up, something nice, either Twitch or playback. I think will be perfect. But Scott, we're going to get into the first topic, and I know this is something that you guys covered over there, and you and I interact on Instagram, and this is something that we've talked about. But the Oakland A's, right? Let's talk about it real quick. When it comes to the Oakland A's, they just got the land permits, or they just secured land on the strip in Vegas to move the team to Vegas. What is your thoughts to those that haven't heard you speak about this, about the whole situation with Oakland and moving the team out of the Bay Area over into Vegas?
We've covered this a lot because barely anyone's covering it, and it's very important. So I feel bad for Oakland, the city, the fans. It's a weird situation these days because there's such a sense of entitlement with certain owners that feel like a city or a community should be giving them hundreds of millions of dollars despite being a billionaire in your own right. Like, if you can't afford to pay for your own ballpark or situation at this point, then just get out of the sport. So unfortunately, in all sports, but especially in baseball, there is still a subset of owners that are mostly focused on making money, and they don't give a fuck about baseball. And we have one in Oakland. He is purely about money. That's why you'll never hear from him either. He hires a guy to speak for him. So his whole plan for years now has been, I'm going to strong arm the city, and I'm either going to get rich as hell in Oakland because they're going to give me everything I want, or I have a great backup plan in Vegas because I know they want a team, and I'll get a lot of what I want there. They'll still give me tax dollars, and instantly moving to that city will up my franchise value. I wouldn't be surprised if that team gets sold within a year or two of landing in Vegas, because the guy doesn't give a shit. I mean, that's clear, right? Like, if you have any sense of pride, let's keep in mind, this is a billionaire who is tanking and quiet quitting his team. Think about like your brain to say, I'm rich as hell. I'm going to buy a team that so many people devote their lives and their hours to watching or working for, and I'm going to purposely make it suck. Can you imagine if a business owner did that? And this guy owns businesses too. Can you imagine if he bought businesses and he was like, I'm going to make everyone's lives miserable. I'm going to make the worst freaking products out there. The business would be done in 5 seconds. So that's essentially what he's been trying to do. And when you don't take care of your fans, when you literally have infestation in your ballpark, and he wouldn't do that for his businesses. He's literally doing that on purpose. And you purposely create the worst team you can ever come up with. I mean, this team is likely going to set a record for being the worst team record-wise of all time. And then, wait, the icing on the cake, the ultimate FU that the league should have stopped, at least just for PR purposes, from last year to this year, we're going to up ticket prices. Just think about it. You're trying to prevent human beings from entering your ballpark so you can say, please, desperately, this place is a disaster. We need to get out of here. It's not our fault. And
they're up in the ticket prices, while at the same time using duct tape to duct tape the steps. And this is something that I commented on one of your posts that you put up there. They're literally using duct tape to keep the steps together while people are walking up and down to it. For me, I think it's a total sore spot for baseball. It's an embarrassment for the sport. If I'm somebody who's a part of the Oakland A fan base, maybe they could put this out or start this petition. You want to move the team? Move the team. But that name, the Oakland A's, is staying with my city. You're not taking the name of my franchise, the history of my franchise, and moving it to Vegas. The same way when the Seattle Supersonics, when they moved to OKC, they had to change their name to the OKC Thunder because the city of Seattle wanted to keep that name and wanted to keep the history of that franchise with the city of Seattle. I think that's the same thing that should happen when it comes to the Oakland A's. You're not going to take the rich history of the Oakland A's when it comes to Reggie Jackson, Raleigh Fingers, and so on, the 70s and 80s, and then just move it to Vegas, like you said, for a money grab, because this is a billionaire who's moving his team to Vegas, who's using majority taxpayer funded money to build his stadium just so he can make more money. And like you said, sell it after the year and a half after he polished it up, moved it, found a new home for it, polished it up, sell it out there to a new owner. He's just going to make more money hands over fist. So I'm agreeing with you when it comes to that, Scott. TC, what's your thoughts on it, bro?
No, yeah, it's bad. It's bad for the game. It destroys the fan base. They stand behind this team, and to just uproot them like that, it reminds me of the Major League, the movie Major League. They're doing the same exact thing, tanking to move to another city. They don't care about the fans, and that's the bad part, because the fans are actually paying for the stadium, paying for the players, paying for the owners. I mean, they're putting their hard-earned money to watch a product, and to watch it just crap on them. Basically, it's terrible. It's just terrible for the game.
It's a huge market too, the Bay Area.
Yeah,
they can fully support 2 teams.
Easy.
You know, it's not because of that. We just have pure American greed in some of these scenarios, where unless they are getting dumb rich, they don't give a shit about human beings, right? Like, I don't know. It's just, to me, you know, I would love to have a conversation with someone like that, with an owner like that, and sit them down and be like, do you really care? Like, do you really need that much more? Like, look at your life right now, and look at how many lives that you're affecting in such a negative way. Like, you have it all, or you're a billionaire. You have it all. You're not going to go broke. You're doing fine. And I get it. Everyone wants to continue to, especially in that category, thrive and compete and be richer. But I'm like, at the expense of humans that want to go to games and want to be fans of a team, like, that's wrong. And also, Vegas deserves their own team.
I'm not crapping on. Vegas.
I'm saying they
get their own team.
Branding, their own team. And a better ownership situation. And also, MLB needs to do a better job of vetting owners. And what they do is they'll vet and make sure that there's obviously not going to be like a criminal or weird situation going on with an owner. Cool, I get it. That's fine. Yeah. But let's worry more about the character of the ownership group that comes in, right? Like that ownership group in Oakland is unacceptable. Like if they were in any other scenario, they'd be kicked out, right? If they were in your poker club at night, you'd kick them out, right? Like, this guy's a douche. If they were working with you, their boss would fire that person. Like that kind of person shouldn't be allowed in such a prestigious group that has, whether we like it or not, the onus of carrying the voice of our sport and the livelihood of baseball.
No, 100% agree with that, Scott. Move on to the next topic, because I know we could stay on this forever. I know I can. When we're talking about billionaires not caring about other people. But I'm not sure if you saw the game yesterday when it came to the Yankees, but there was something going on with the Toronto Blue Jays, their broadcasters, talking about the Yankees and Aaron Judge looking into the dugout. Hold on, that's the wrong one. Here it is. Talking about Aaron Judge maybe doing something fishy when it comes to that. Obviously, Judge after the game said that he was looking at the dugout because he heard a lot of chirping going on or anything like that. So, Scott, what's your thoughts on the claims of Aaron Judge looking and getting some help from the dugout by the Blue Jays from the Blue Jays broadcasters, bro? What's your thoughts on that?
I believe Aaron on this one. I mean, it's one thing if he's been doing it often, but this is the first time we caught it. And it's not like you're going to look back and be like, he's done this 1,000 times. This is how he's hitting all his homers. So I believe the story. I do. Yeah. I don't think he's peaking. Also, guys have done this for years. This actually pops up every year in the sport multiple times where a guy will be kind of trying to look back, but it's not usually the way that his eyes looked was not down.
Was not down.
Right.
Yeah.
It was straight across. So to me, it is not necessarily the wisest move to put yourself in a position that people are going to speculate. Also, like, dude, you have an at bat. I'm with you for Aaron, but I'm like, if that's the story you're telling and we believe it, maybe you should do that before or after you're at bat. Like, focus on your at bat. Yeah. You're only up there for a few minutes tops. Like, do your thing, and then you can see what's going on in the dugout. It's almost like Aaron's the parent in the clubhouse or in the dugout. And so
don't make me turn this car around.
Yeah. I know if I leave this home for 10 minutes and I hear ruckus, I'm coming back in there to kick all your asses. So for me, no, I believe what he's saying. And obviously all cameras are going to be on him for the rest of the freaking year, as they always are anyway, to make sure he's not looking anywhere else. So on that particular case, of course, he hits a home run, so it gives it more of a story. And we're going to cover this right at the top of our show on Foul Territory later. But in my mind, it's a hanging slider right down the middle. Aaron doesn't miss that in general. So I don't – the only other speculation is like, well, was he trying to catch the setup of the catcher to see if he's setting up wider or closer into the plate? But I don't know. I don't see it. There are players that peak, though, pretty frequently. But there are also ways as a catcher to counteract that. And usually most of it has to do with just setting up super late or even setting up in one way and then switching last minute. As the catcher, you know, or should know where you want the ball to go and what type of pitch it is more so than the batter. So I don't want to say it's a non-story, but because it's worth talking about, but I don't think he was, quote, cheating. And also it's technically not cheating. Your eyes can go wherever. That's on the other team to adjust that way. You know, technically, hey, if it's one of us and we're up there and we want to just look down and be like, what's good? I mean, you might get quick pitched or popped in the freaking in the shoulder.
Popped in the knee one time. If you guys go over, make sure you guys give a subscribe over to Foul Territory. If you aren't doing that, what is up with your life? Shout out to my brother, Mr. Pete Seminetti from YANKEES in the chat. Petey boy, how you doing? Salute, 3 capital S's.
Yeah.
I want Scott, I want to ask you, right? What's more a believable scenario? Aaron Judge peeking to try to see what's going on with the catcher, or the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and their organization turning the AC on and off to control the way the ball moves in Tampa Bay? Which one's more believable, right? Because everybody want to throw out these allegations that people are cheating nowadays, but on Twitter, you got people really saying that, when you turn the AC on and when you turn it off, it controls the way the ball moves inside of the stadium. I'm like, what are you doing? That's when I hit people with a block. What's more of a believable scenario, Scott?
I mean, I guess technically the AC, sure, but do we really think it's going to affect the baseball that much? For anyone that's throwing that out there, I encourage you to go to that ballpark because it's terrible. It is. It is also an experience where it's not the same because the team puts a competitive product on the field, but the facility itself is begging you not to show up. If you go to a game there, you are not there to enjoy the aesthetic of the game. It sucks. The lighting's terrible. You're on carpet.
A warehouse.
It's dingy. It's like Kratz actually said it best. 70s YMCA.
That's perfect comparison.
And guess what? I feel bad for the Rays players. They've talked to me for years about this. They're like, "Yeah, this place sucks. It's hard for me to get myself excited here." Obviously, they don't do well in attendance, but also they always complain about the lighting, the playing surface. So no, if anything, I think they're usually playing with a disadvantage being in Tampa Bay, especially their hitters. So if we really what do they have? Like the world's strongest fans that are blowing the baseball out there? They don't even pay for freaking regular lights. There's no way they're paying money to shoot baseballs out.
No,
so, plus I'd have to look, but the Rays. This is no stat looking up for me, but the Rays have looked pretty damn good on the road. So are they putting those AC units on the road? For me, here's the biggest thing, because I know there was some trash take from that radio host that's like, the Rays are cheating just because I said so. Yeah. But clearly that person, and they tried to come back at me and be like, who watches games? And I'm like, if he doesn't know the sport, you can watch games and not know the sport. Well, how do the Rays have more home runs than the Yankees? Really? Judge was out for multiple weeks. He's been out. Obviously, there's been a number of other veterans out. Yankees, up until recently, were just off to an okay start. And the Rays have had one of the better farm systems for years, and some of their players are starting to put it together. And they're healthy as shit. Their pitching has problems. They always get hurt, and that's another topic in terms of how they take care of and develop their pitching. But their hitting is all healthy, and they're all together. So I'm like, that's why. And also, we play a game of adjustments. Yandy Diaz didn't just show up, and he's freaking the most jacked player. He's been like that, and everybody in the game's been like, how come this guy won't commit to trying to get the baseball in the air? Why? Because he knows that he had a certain method that got him to the big leagues, and he's not going to
stick with it.
It's got him paid. Now he got some security. He signed an extension, a couple months ago. So the Rays were able to kind of talk him into trying some different things. and getting more lift on the baseball from one of the most jacked dudes in the game. No shit that he's hitting more home runs now. We've all been waiting for that to happen and just thought he would never adjust. But all it took was some security in a contract, which some guys do well with and some don't. So these are people that don't do their homework. And even if you say, like the guy on FAN was like that like his co-hosts were like, oh, he sits and like scores the game every night. I'm like, cool. Like, ever heard of like .com? You don't need to do that shit. You can.
Yeah.
But like, that doesn't mean like, oh my gosh, he must know everything about the game. I'm like, he doesn't know shit. He's stuck in the freaking 70s.
Yeah, no, that's one thing I can say about Evan Roberts from listening to them for years is that he actually scores every game in his game book and stuff like that.
So
it's a passion that he has from when he goes back from his childhood days. But yeah, when it comes to it, right? And I'm somebody, I have a background in like HVAC and electrical theory. I went to school to be an electrician. I was telling people that theory sounds good when you blurt it out for 3 seconds, but then you realize in 2023, we do not have the technology from Star Trek to automatically turn the AC on and turn it off, and it impacts the climate in the room like that. It doesn't happen.
Time.
It's not going to happen, right? So yeah, it's just a non-secular point, non-talking point when it comes to that, just trying to find something that doesn't stick. Tampa Bay is doing good because Tampa Bay is good. When you brought up the players like Yandy Diaz, like you said, Tampa Bay is known for their analytics. So if the analytic guys go to him and tell him, like, listen, if you lift the ball just a little bit, look what happens. And you see what happens. Harold Ramirez is another perfect example. That's a guy that was just a righty-lefty split, killed left-handed pitching, was horrible against right-handed pitching. This year, he has found the perfect balance to be good when it comes to hitting righties and lefties at the same time. So Harold Ramirez is another young player that just found himself. You look at Randy Arozarena. This is a guy that he came through the organization with the St. Louis Cardinals. We all know how St. Louis, how when they come to making their prospects, comes over to Tampa, falls in love with the Tampa system, and look what's happened to Randy Arozarena. He has found himself. I'm not sure if it's because of the World Baseball Classic and him getting all that extra fanfare, but Randy Arozarena, he has carried it on into the season, and he is crushing it right now.
I can tell you some reasoning for that. And there's another perfect example of somebody like a guy who's watching games, scoring them, being like, how's this Rosarena guy good? First off, I'm sorry. Were you sleeping during the COVID season? Did you watch the 2020 playoffs? Because Randy Rosarena looked like Babe Ruth. And he's had his ups and downs and ebbs and flows. And some of that has to do with during the regular season, it's hard for the motivation factor. And for me, and you would think that's crazy, but hey, it's hard to get to World Series caliber like he was, and that kind of intensity, even though obviously it was a weird scenario, but you're still playing in a high intensity game. They know how many people are watching on TV versus regular season game in Tampa, or technically St. Pete, where there's not many people there. And for me, this is a guy that's finally able to completely be himself. Not that he was being held back. I think the league is allowing him to be himself, right? It's not just the team. I think the league is just more accepting that this guy's going to pose. He's going to have a good time. He's going to interact with fans. The WBC definitely helped that. And also he is continuing to learn how to prepare for a game. I think he went from literally show up to the ballpark and just chat and have a good time to, all right, let's talk about the game plan. Let's talk about the scouting report a little bit. That stuff matters. He's not going to be the world's like most intense prepper, and you don't have to be with that kind of natural ability. But if you do a little bit of that, it can go a long way. And Rays people have told me that he's been more bought in on that front.
Yeah, 100%. What's your thoughts on the Yankees and Rays, the rivalry that they have in the AL East? Because I always like to bring it up that I honestly think the AL East is probably the toughest division in all of professional sports, not just in Major League Baseball. But what's your thoughts on the rivalry between the Yankees and the Rays? And like you said, Randy Arozarena and his poses. I love it. I may be a Yankee fan. I know there's a lot of old Yankee fans that may not be in love with it, but I'm going to tell you this right now. If Randy Arozarena was on the Yankees doing the same thing, you would love it. You can't lie about that. What's your thoughts on the rivalry? And then afterwards, I throw it over to TC. Go ahead, Scott.
He would be a darling in New York City if he was there. Everyone would love him. I mean, he's the ideal marketing machine in baseball. I mean, he's interacting with the crowd. He's giving you every moment is like a signature moment for him. The Yankees actually, in my mind, in that series a week ago, hitting him twice is Bush League. Leave the freaking guy alone. What? Because you don't like that he's showing off and having a good time? Then just play better. That was the part where I'm like, we don't need the no fun police. Do not prevent players from being themselves. In terms of the rivalry, it's great. They have this genuine disliking. I don't know if I would go as far as hatred, like old Yankees Red Sox days, but at least a very strong disliking that's real, right? Kevin Cash, I got a whole stable of guys throwing 90, whatever. There's been a lot of good moments, especially over the past, 4 to 5 years between these teams. So I'm all about it. I also think there's a pretty good rivalry that continues to brew and pick up steam with the Blue Jays. And I think the Blue Jays are really good, and they've kind of underperformed so far a little bit to start the season, but now are starting to pick things up. We had Whit Merrifield from the Blue Jays on our show yesterday, and he said 2 things. He's like, I'm unfazed by the Rays. We've already beaten them. He said, the AL East is so damn good that it's the SEC. I'll give you one more. And last year when he got traded to the team, he said one of the clubhouse attendants goes, welcome to the big leagues. Like, this is the big leagues.
Yeah.
Because he was coming from Kansas City, and they're in the AL Central. The AL Central kind of stinks. So, yeah, AL East is by far the best division in baseball. It's not close.
Yeah, go ahead, TC.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Rosarena would be. I'd love him on the team, and he reminds me of Harrison Bader. We need more gamers like that, guys that hustle and they care about the game, and they're 5-tool players. We need more of that, and that's why Tampa Bay is so good, because they have athletic contact hitters that know how to play the game in the right way, and the Yankees are trying to be that, and they're always trying to mimic them with the analytics and everything. They actually need to stop that and go back to being what the Yankees were, the feared franchise, and now they're trying to chase all these other teams with these openers and the different style analytics, and just be the Yankees and just go back to what you were doing. So, but yeah, Rosarena, I want more guys like that on our team. We're too one-dimensional, and I'd love to see them go a different way, but. We'll do what we got around our team right now, and we're starting to pick up some steam. So we'll see what happens.
Scott, I know that you got to dip out because I know you got to get ready for your show right now. I just want to ask one question from the chat real quick, and I'm going to bring it up right now. Uncle Tat said, Scott, do you feel the content creators like Hector and Pete and others are becoming the premier way for fans to get a more realistic take on their teams as opposed to radio, where it's buttoned up and just a little bit tight? What's your thoughts on that real quick before you dip
100%. Digital pod social is where you should be getting the most realistic takes these days. And it's not just that. I think the problem with radio is, especially like if you're listening to local stations, which I did growing up nonstop, WFA and all that. I grew up in Jersey. The problem is they're keeping track of all the teams. So they might be paying attention in like July and August for a little. But those same guys are watching, like, Carton. I mean, he'd be the first person to tell you. He's like doing his show, and he does like a national show on Fox. He's watching the NBA playoffs. Like if I followed him around for 24 hours, maybe he catches a highlight, maybe. So he has no idea what's going on in the game. So also, if you just want to get like the actual real coverage, I think that's the spot as well. But yeah, for real takes, and TV's even more soft. So you just have a lot of rules. You can't talk about a lot of things. So yeah, absolutely. This is where you get your coverage, and TV's trying to actually be more like you guys and like us these days. They just don't know how, and they're not going to ever be able to totally be like that unless we just suddenly get rid of FCC and all these rules. I don't think it's going to change that way. So in my mind, this is the spot, and I think like if you're buying stock in this, it hasn't even scratched the surface of its potential.
No, 100%. Scott, again, appreciate you for taking time this morning to come talk to us lunatics over here, us Yankee fans. Don't be looking in, Scott. Don't be looking in. But appreciate you, Scott. Make sure you guys go follow the guys over at Foul Territory on YouTube, Instagram. Are you guys on any other social media platforms for people to check out, Scott?
Number 2 baseball podcast in the land. So Spotify and Apple, please, subscribe, rate, review. We're all over TikTok. Yeah, I know you guys mentioned Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So basically wherever you can get stuff. And we appreciate it. If you type Foul Territory into any platform, you'll find us.
Now I got to ask you, Scott.
Workout videos too as well?
Not yet. AJ Przinsky's 10 feet away from me, so maybe he'll record him.
This is what I want to ask you, Scott. When it comes to AJ, does he like New York City pizza, or he's a Chicago deep dish guy? What kind of pizza does AJ like?
What do you like? Thin. He said
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
He's with you, New York.
Scott, appreciate you, my guy.
About New York.
That's it. That's all he loves.
He's born in New York too.
Thank you, Scott.
Cheers, appreciate you, Scott. AJ, appreciate you, my guy. Like always, guys, make sure you guys follow the guys over there at Foul Territory. Our friend Scott Braun, our friend AJ Przinsky, Eric Kratz, Adam Jones. But let's continue the conversation running. I see we got people in the chat. I apologize if we couldn't get to all your questions. Sorry about that. But let's shout out the chat. Anthony Medina's in the building. Medina. Of course, Emmanuel Morales. Like I brought up the question, appreciate you. Grace Monroe, appreciate you. We got my guy Luca, one half of the Twin Bills is in the building. My guy Pete says, I always say let players showboat, but remember teams should be allowed to retaliate. When it comes down to it, I purposely think it like this. If you don't want no guys showboating on you, make sure you strike them out. Point blank period. Make sure you get the batter out if you don't want them posing, bat flipping, or whatever. But I understand there's a certain line that you don't cross, like Bryce Harper let it be known over the weekend against the Colorado Rockies. Hold on one second. We got backstage our guy Jigga Man Porto, and I want Jigga Man to come up because we got a new show that's going to be debuting on the channel. So Celso, whenever you get a second to come up on the channel. Jacob Petruzzi said, heck, Rummer, he might have been looking at the first base coach, maybe talking about Judge. I'm not too sure about that. When it comes to the Judge situation, I believe Judge, what he said, that he was looking into the dugout to calm his guys down. What's your thoughts on the whole situation with Judge and the broadcasters from Toronto that are just trying to make a story happen when there's no story to be happened?
It's a total non-issue. He was looking at the dugout. I don't know. I mean, he heard them chirping about the call prior, the low call that got Boone, ejected from the game. So what's he looking at? Where the catch? He's looking straight across. He's not looking down at the catcher. They're gonna make accusations about everything. It's about just like you brought up about Tampa cheating. Oh, so were the Yankees cheating last year when they got off to their hot start too? So
bingo. I really don't think that's what it is. When you look at Tampa, their schedule favored them more than anybody else, right? When you look at it, Tampa played Washington to start the season, Cincinnati to start the season, Oakland. They played who else they played? The White Sox. They played a bunch of teams that are at the bottom barrel of baseball. And I think the record that they have against those lower echelon teams are 14-6 or 15-1, something like that, to that degree. James Cook said, I've heard that Dylan Cease and Lucas Giolito possibly trade candidates. Listen, if the Yankees are going to trade him, it's going to cost. It's going to cost you Jason Dominguez. It's going to cost you Austin Wells. There he is, Chico Man Porto. You fine bastard. What's up, bro?
Hey, a nice little morning there with Mr. Scott Braun. Great job there, my guys.
I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much.
So is it a rule that if people come on the network at least 3 times, they officially are friends? Like you can now say you're friends with Scott Braun, right?
Well, I had Scott on the show like a year ago, so it's been like a year that Scott and we've been familiar with each other. So yeah, I could say friend. If not close associate, close associate. If you guys can't smack that like button for your boys, go ahead, Jigga. Let the people know about the new show coming to the channel.
Yeah, so the news drops in about 20 minutes on Twitter, but excited to add 2 more hosts to the Morning Brew Sports roster. We got our boy, the future, that's right, the future of MLB broadcasting. We got our boy Halal, his partner Eddie, our new show called The Rookie Podcast. Really excited for these guys, man. Tuesdays, 6 p.m., Fridays, 5 p.m. You guys will be able to catch them here. Here's a little taste of what the boys are breaking out for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, the day is here. Something that I know I've been looking forward to for a while. I'm thrilled to welcome on the first co-host of the Backstage Baseball Show. This is the Rookie Podcast. I am thrilled to have a co-host on this podcast, Eddie Krause. How you doing today, Eddie?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. So thrilled to be doing this.
Let's jump officially out of a job if these two take over. All right.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We've got the 2 young bucks joined. Man, it's exciting to have 2 guys of their age. I mean, they're 13 years old. They are so knowledgeable when it comes to baseball,
Amazing.
and they love the sport. And I'll be honest, man, I was super excited when Hector and I got to sit down and kind of game plan it and talk about the rookie idea. And these two just took initiative. They put this together, and we are excited to announce they are officially here on the Morning Brew Sports.
Yo, Pete said, I thought I tuned into Nick Jr. for a second. Let's go.
We got him. We landed him, guys.
We got him. And also, too,
some goo going to come out.
For people that know, when it comes to Eddie, the other guy, he's more of a Met fan, right? So if you guys are familiar with like the Mets, the baby announcers that they have, that's Eddie. Eddie is one of the baby announcers for the Mets. I'm so happy that they're coming over here on the channel. So we're going to have Halal. We're going to have Eddie. The future of Major League Baseball is over here on the Brew Crew Sports. How you doing?
Right.
Yeah, buddy. Right. So first episode will be this Friday, 5 p.m. Look forward to seeing everybody in the chat. And I'll let you guys get back to work.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wish we had. Oh, I think there he is. I was about to say, where'd TC go? I wish we were able to have Scott on just a little bit longer, because I wanted to ask him about the Carlos Rodon injury. What's his thoughts on it? But apparently, Carlos Rodon, he is scheduled to have a second cortisone shot later on in the week, if necessary, right? Because he has been throwing pitches since his last cortisone shot. He has been in the bullpen, having a little pinching thing going back and forth. But if it's necessary, I think that's a good sign, because when you get your first cortisone sign, they automatically set you up for a second one, right? Yeah. So let's see how his body reacts over the next couple of days to him pitching or having a bullpen session. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get some good news for that, because we got Luis Severino coming back this Sunday versus Cincinnati, or this weekend versus Cincinnati. What's your thoughts on the update on Rodon and the likelihood that Luis Severino will be joining us this weekend?
Hey, honestly, I will take any good news that we can get. I mean, having Severino back is humongous. Our starting pitching has been getting, rocked around a little bit. It's getting me a little worried. So Sevy coming back, and then just hoping and praying that Rodon can come back within at least a month, maybe end of June would be great. I mean, this team's starting to gel. The hitting is definitely catching on fire, and just a boost to this pitching staff. It'll just boost everyone's confidence in this team right now. They were down in the dumps in Tampa, and now all of a sudden, a week later, this team looks like a whole completely different team.
Yeah,
so
and
when these guys get rolling, it's just going to be a snowball effect. And
100%. Once we get everybody back, Jacob Petruzzi asks, any update on Stanton? As of right now, there is no update on Giancarlo Stanton. I haven't heard anything, but I agree. If there's one thing that I could take away from this weekend, right, is that when it comes to the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays, we aren't that far off. We aren't that. We're literally right there with them. We showed fight this entire weekend. Tampa Bay, their bullpen is shot. They've overused their bullpen. There was a metric that came up, and there's a website that it tracks the weather patterns, the wind, and everything like that. And apparently, if the wind wasn't as strong as it was on Sunday's game, if it was just 3 miles per hour less, that ball from Aaron Judge would have won an extra 30 feet, and it would have been a home run. Right? When he hit that off the back, I thought it was a home run out the gate. We all thought it was a home run, but
Jason
it just
Adams
died at the.
Did you see his reaction on the mound?
Saw his reaction. Saw the reaction from the other Rays players that were out there as well. The infielders thought it was gone as well. But Mother Nature, you can't control Mother Nature. It is what it is. But I honestly believe after this weekend, I am not scared of the Tampa Bay Rays. We are literally right there with them. We're knocking at the door. We just won the first game against Toronto. We got 3 more games left against them. We beat Alex Manoah, who was supposed to be their ace. We got Chris Bassett on the mound later on today. I am not scared of the AL East right now like I was a week ago before the series against Tampa. What's your thoughts on that, TC? No, and also, if I can, shout out to Dawn Sicario in the chat. If Dawn is in the building, how you doing? We got my guy, Mr. Steve Schumann's in the building. Stevie Pooh, how you doing? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I think there's a Papa Cadil out there somewhere too. I think I
Oh,
see him.
where he at? Where's Papa
He's-
Cadil? Oh, Jerry Cadill's in
There he
the
is.
building. Jerry, hey yo, Jerry.
Yeah.
If you guys can, please smack the like button for your boys. And if you aren't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. We are at 549 right now. We are on our way over to 600 and beyond. So please help us out. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. We got 35 people in the building. Let's get them likes up to 40.
Yeah, so going back to what you're asked, the AL East has kind of turned upside down this last week. The Yankees are hot and they're climbing, and don't forget Tampa Bay just lost 2 starting pitchers. Springs and
Yes.
Rasmussen
Yes.
are going to be out. It looks like Rasmussen might need Tommy John, so that's 2 starting pitchers out of their rotation. I know they got off to that hot start with their hitters. They're gonna fade. They can't keep this up all year. I mean, we saw what we did last year. We faded at in August, September. So, but as far as the Yankees go, hey, it's starting to gel. We got Bader back. We got Judge back. We're starting to hit. We move Volpe down in the 6th, 7th hole. Look at how he's doing. He's had 3 home runs and 8 RBIs in the last.
He's hitting well. He's hitting well over 300 since moving down to that spot in the lineup.
In that 6th spot. I mean, that's just amazing. Just a little, move down in the lineup has boosted his offense, and everybody else seems. Calhoun with a big home run.
Jack Bowers is looking really good. Jake Bowers, aka Jack Bowers.
Jake Bowers in the leadoff spot. I mean, that's I don't know about that, but hey, all the moves right now in as the offensive side are working, and I like it. They've scored, I think, averaging over 7 runs their last 10 games. So
yeah,
it's all clicking. We do need to sort out the pitching with Sevy coming back, like we were saying, will help a lot. We could move, Schmidt or Brito to the bullpen. Herman pitches today. He's been looking great.
Herman deserves he deserves to be in that rotation. Herman has showed that he deserves to be in that rotation. He started off the season a bit shaky, but ever since then, he has showed that he deserves a spot in the rotation. And Yankees, can we please? Why are you treating Domingo Herman with kid gloves? This is something I spoke about on Get Yanked. Let the man pitch. Don't take him out of the game when he has 88, 90 pitches. Let him go deep into the game. Let him get 95 or 100. It's not going to hurt you. Now, I understand they may be trying to be cautious when it comes to Domingo Herman. They don't want to overuse him with all the injuries to the starting rotation. I get that. To the pitching staff, I understand that. But let the guy pitch. I'd rather have Domingo Herman out there pitching instead of trying to bring in a Clay Holmes with guys on base. Ron Marinaccio, 9 times out of 10, he's going to be the guy that we want coming out of the bullpen, but he gave up that jack job to the Tampa Bay Rays. I understand that Marinaccio is going to figure himself out. He had about 3 or 4 days off, and you remember last year, Ron Marinaccio doesn't do that well when he has multiple days off in between his outings.
Yeah, and I also wanted to ask how you felt yesterday before the game when they announced that Jimmy Cordero was the starter and then Brito was the bulk guy, the Costco bulk guy. What did you think about that?
Man, I was gonna when I saw that, I was like, which one of these analytical guys were at the water cooler coming up with this idea? That's what I thought at first. But hindsight is 50-50. We all know that what it was able to produce, what we got out of it, I'll take it. If Jimmy Cordero is going to come in, pitch you 2 phenomenal innings, and then Johnny Brito comes afterwards, and what he pitched to what, the 7th inning on the 8th inning? If I'm not mistaken.
I think he got into the 7th. Yes.
Yeah, he got into the 7th inning before Tampa was able to. Toronto was able. Yeah. And then So for me, I was happy with it. At first, I was a bit shaky, but I'm happy with the results of it. Alan Landsman said Tommy Kahnle is going to be back within 3 weeks as well. Matt Crook should be another option in a few weeks. Yes, both those pitchers are getting healthy down there in the minor league, so we should be having some reinforcements down the pipeline.
Can I give a quick shout out? I just realized
Go ahead.
my dad and mom are celebrating their 53rd wedding anniversary today.
Let's go.
Put it in the chat. There it is.
Let's go.
53rd wedding anniversary to
Congratulations.
Papa and Mama Cadil.
That is special right there. That is special. Salute to your parents, bro. Salute to Mama and Papa Cadil. Awesome 53, many more to come. 53 on their way to 100. I love that, bro. Go ahead.
And another thing, Hector, I don't know if everybody knows about the event that Pete from NY News is having September 23rd. Myself, Casey Funtime, and Jerry Cadile will all be there to meet you.
Nice. I cannot wait for that. Make sure if you guys haven't tuned into NYY News TV, of course you guys have, because you guys are from the community. But for those that haven't, make sure you get your ticket as fast as you can to that event in September. The tickets sell out like that. So they're going to be listed tomorrow for you to buy. Make sure you get your ticket ASAP. I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure Jigga Man's there. TC's going to be there. Pete's going to be there. You'll be able to meet the whole family. Uncle Tats is going to be there. So it's going to be an amazing time.
Yes. Don't miss it. I missed the first one.
I cannot wait.
I regret it. I'm coming this time.
Hey, don't worry about it, bro. You missed the first one. Don't worry, because we're going to be here for the second one. All right. But
get some veal chop. I heard it was good.
Oh, the veal chop was phenomenal. The veal chop was phenomenal. Jacob Petruzzi, I can't wait to meet you also, brother. Yeah. Make sure you show up. Sunil, if there's a way for you to get out there, make sure you show up. Mr. Steve Schumann, I got to see my adopted father, Steve, right? Because my real father doesn't call me nowadays. So I gotta see my real adopted father, Steve Schumann. Steve, make sure you come. I know Anthony Medita's going to be there. I can't wait to meet up with all of you guys. But let's switch gears just a little bit. Okay. Phil, you better come to that one. You better come to that one.
I gotta meet Phil. He's the best wedding photographer ever.
Oh, he's hands down the best. The best. When it comes to the Yankees and the mystique of the Yankees, how can we get back to that era of aura, mystique when it comes to it, right? One person on Twitter, obviously he's a Boston fan. He said the mystique of the Yankees completely died with the 2004 collapse. It was already deteriorating. After that, and after 03, we have appearances since then, and it was filled with a bunch of A-Rod, roided out excuses. What's your thoughts on that comment? Obviously, he's a bit biased because he's a Boston Red Sox fan, and he can't spell. I should have read the tweet before I even said it. But go ahead, TC, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I partly agree with it. I mean, that 2004 was a heartbreaker for all the fans, and it was the downfall of some of the players they had in the the late 90s and the early 2000s. But we got back in 2009. We won another World Series, but as soon as Jeter and Posada and Pettit and Rivera, all those guys started retiring, the mystique did go away. And don't forget George Steinbrenner. He cared about winning, and I don't know if this owner, Hal, cares as much as his dad. So that's one thing that needs to change. They need to start caring about winning. But what we're doing in the farm system, where we're building a good unit of guys. We already got Judge up here. We got Volpe. We still have Peraza. We have Dominguez, Spencer Jones, Austin Wells. We have a good core of guys that can come up and surround them with some of the big hitters that the Yankees always seem to go out and get. And you'll have exactly what they had in the late 90s. They need to get back to Yankee-style baseball, playing the right way, playing good defense, hitting with runners in scoring position, and just not making mistakes. I'm seeing too many easy little league mistakes, going on with this team, and we got to tighten this up. And honestly, I don't know. I think we need a change at manager as well, and I think somebody that holds these players accountable. And of course, Cashman, he needs to go. And I think if we bring in the right guys, we can get back there.
For me, I see what you're saying, and when it comes to the manager, when it comes to Aaron Boone, it is what it is right now with Aaron Boone, and the same thing for Brian Cashman, right? But if there's something that we can point out, the ship has sailed on both Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman, we appreciate the work you have done for us as the GM of our team, keeping us competitive over the years, bringing in players like Alex Rodriguez, bringing in players like Roger Clemens, drafting Aaron Judge. We appreciate you for that. Don't think that we just want to beat up on you whenever we want to beat up on you, right? But when something is not working, It's not working for a specific reason. And Brian Cashman, you trying to emulate, replicate what Tampa Bay is doing hasn't worked since you tried to start doing it. I want to say since 2015 or 2016, this has been an experiment for Brian Cashman, and it hasn't worked. Brian Cashman, you are the GM of the New York Yankees. You are the GM of the richest team in all of Major League Baseball, the second richest team in all of professional baseball, all of professional sports, behind the Dallas Cowboys. You aren't the Tampa Bay Rays. You don't have to restrict yourself to payroll, right? You don't have to be scared to go out there and spend money. You are the GM of the New York Yankees. There's a reason why this franchise is worth what it's worth, because of the product that's on the field, because of the loyal fan base. We are going to show up. No matter how much money you spend and it doesn't work out, us Yankee fans are always going to show up and always going to spend our money on our team. As long as we see you are invested in the team the same way us fans are invested into the team. Point blank, period. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, no, he has to stop trying to outsmart everybody. Like his moves are 10 moves better than another GM. He's looking like an idiot with these moves. I mean, we can just bring up. I know we're going to beat a dead horse with the Montas trade and the Donaldson trade, and those have just those trades are just terrible. They're the worst ever. But I mean, he's brought in some good guys like Bader and Trevino. Some of the moves have worked out, but he needs to just get out of his own way. And I think he needs to allow Sabian and Mania to help him make some of these decisions and stop trying to do this solo mission. And just he's looking like he's Dumb and Dumber. That's what I compared it. He's making some decisions. They have us all scratching our heads. And the analytics, either stick with the analytics and bring in some guys
throw
that
it
know
away.
how to read
One
it,
or the other.
do away with it, because the way they're doing it now, it's just not working. It's not.
I listen, and with what I'm about to say, I'm not trying to be a devil's advocate at all, right? Because when I look back on the Frankie Montas trade, those pitches that we gave up, we could have used that in a trade for like a Brian Reynolds, right? So I'm not trying to be a devil's advocate, but when you look at their stats, I'm gonna start off with Mr. JP Sears. JP Sears with Oakland right now, he has pitched. Hold on, let me just make sure I have it right. He has pitched. Why is it not popping up? Sorry. He has a 5.27 ERA and 44 innings, right? When you look at Ken Waldichuk, this was another pitcher that we sent over to Oakland. Ken Waldichuk right now, he's pitching to an ERA 7.02 ERA and about 41 innings. Now, when you look at Hayden Wisniewski, that's who we gave up for Scott Efros, who is injured right now. He is pitching to a 5.03 ERA. How many innings has he pitched? And 39 innings. So, yes, we gave up a lot of talent for a guy that's injured right now. But when you look at the numbers, JP Sears and Ken Waldichuk, they aren't pitching lights out. It'd be different if they had ERAs that are under 3. Maybe in the future they are able to figure it out. But JP Sears is 27 years old. Ken Waldichuk is 25, 26 years old. Maybe Ken Waldichuk has a higher ceiling than JP Sears, but both those pitchers, they aren't pitching amazing right now. And when you look at it, they're pitching in Oakland, which normally favors a pitcher's ERA.
That's the pitcher's
because of that big-ass foul territory that they have. Like Steve Schumann said, yep, perfect. I literally just said it. And remember, the Oakland Coliseum is a pitcher's ballpark. Their numbers will be worse if they was with the Yankees. That's 100% true, Steve. So when you look at it, yes, hindsight is 50-50. We could have used those pitchers in a trade for Brian Reynolds or somebody else. But when you look at what we gave up, they aren't pitching lights out in Oakland. So if there's any silver lining, hopefully in September, Frankie Montas can come back, and hopefully we get something out of Frankie. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe Frankie Montas is pitching in a pivotal game in September or in October. I know this is not something that most Yankee fans would want to hear, but when you look at it, hopefully we get something out of him.
Yeah, we need some good news at the end of the year. I mean, our pitching is they're taxed. I mean, they're overusing that bullpen. And again, I want to stress how much this bullpen has saved this team up until now with all the injuries.
Oh
They've kept them
yeah,
in the game. I mean, there's two guys that stand out: Ian Hamilton and Jimmy Cordero.
point
Out of
blank.
nowhere, these guys were not even figured into this bullpen, and they've stepped in and dominated. They've dominated.
Before
It's
spring
been
training,
unbelievable.
we didn't even know who Ian Hamilton was. We didn't know who Jimmy Cordero was before spring training. And look at them right now. They are actually pivotal pieces to our bullpen. Like you said, our bullpen, we got a top 10 bullpen in all of baseball. Top 10.
With no designated closer. It's closer by
Yes.
committee. We have, King closed out yesterday. Peralta
Wandy
closed
Peralta closed
two
out a
games
couple.
against Tampa. That was phenomenal. I mean, I want to give my hats off to Wandy Peralta for those 2 games. But yeah, it's a closer by committee. Just think if we brought in a closer and we get Rodon and Sevy back and Stanton. I mean, we're on a roll right now, and I hope it just rolls right into September and we just into the playoffs.
The big question mark that we have when it comes to this team, when it comes to our starting rotation specifically, is Nestor Cortez a one-trick pony? Has the magic ran out on Nestor Cortez? When you look at him, he has an ERA that's 5.33 right now. 5.33. This is the worst ERA he had since he first came up with the Yankees and with Baltimore, right? So when it comes to Nestor Cortez, has he run out of juice? That has the league figured out the magic of Nestor Cortez?
I think that's what you nailed it. They figured out his cutter. He can't get righties out. He can't get him out. They're just sitting on that cutter. They're waiting for him to throw it, and he's getting crushed. And I just hope Matt Blake can figure it out for him. And because Nestor is a big piece to this starting rotation. I mean, Cole can't do it all. And without Sevy and Rodon, and luckily Herman has had some great starts the last couple outings, but relying on Schmidt and Brito is just you're walking on thin ice. And Nestor's a big piece, and I hope he figures it out.
Hold on 1 second. We got the Yankees Clipper in the chat. Yankees Clipper, salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. I told you I was going to get you a salute, 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 my guy. He says, I think it's a combination, Hector. They understand him better, but he has had location/command problems too. Yeah, and bro, honestly, if Nestor Cortez was a 23-year-old or 24, 25-year-old young pitcher that had a fastball of 98 miles per hour, I would say he can figure it out, right? But Nestor Cortez, he's on the opposite side of that age. His stuff is not like that. He's a finesse pitcher. His fastball tops out 93 at his best. 93, sometimes he'll touch 94, but he sits around 92, 93 miles per hour. Very sneaky fast. But like you said, when that cutter is not cutting, when he's not getting those swings and misses, when it comes to whiffs and swings and misses, Nestor Cortez is bottom 10 when it comes to starting pitchers. Bottom 10. He is not. People aren't swinging and misses at his stuff like they were last year, like they were the year before. So when it comes to Nestor Cortez, I want to believe that he can figure it out. Maybe he shuts me up and he figures it out over the next few starts, but I have zero faith when it comes to Nestor Cortez. This starting rotation may look different by the time the trade deadline comes around than what we thought.
Yeah, I do. I hope he figures it out. And then coming up probably the end of this week, we got Sevy coming back. We got a lot of roster moves we got to make.
Yeah, we got Sevy coming back in September. Possibly Carlos Rodon, depending on what happens with this. If he needs to get the second cortisone shot, maybe he could start going for rehab assignments down at AAA. So he could probably be back by the end of next month, beginning of July, maybe. Donaldson, there's an update on Donaldson. There is no update on Giancarlo Stanton. So maybe the Yankees, they get some reinforcements coming back. The easy part of our schedule is starting to come upon us. We got Cincinnati, like we just talked about, which is one of the bottom teams. When Tampa played them, they swept them. So hopefully we could sweep them as well, and we could be 6-0 when it comes to facing those bottom teams in the league. So you never know.
Yeah, if we finish this month off strong, yeah, it'll definitely give us some momentum going into June. But I wanted to ask you, so when all these guys come back, who do you think's going to get demoted or DFA? Do you think we part ways with Hicks finally? Do we DFA Abreu?
Christmas
Weber?
may come early. Christmas may come early, and all of our wishes may get answered when it comes to Aaron Hicks. When you look at everybody else, Cabrera has started hitting over his past. Hold on, wait. Over his past 8 games, including yesterday, Cabrera is hitting over 680 with 8 RBIs.
I think he
over his last 7 games.
He heard me say he should be demoted.
He heard both of us. He heard both of us.
He heard both of us. He heard Pete, and I think he listened to the show and he said, "You know what? I'm going to show these guys. I'm going to show these guys something."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. So when you look at the schedule of the Yankees, right? We got 3 games left with Toronto. Then we played 3 games against Cincinnati. We got 3 games coming up against the Orioles, which is going to be crucial for us. We got to get 2 out of 3 against the Orioles. Then we got the Padres, who are under 500. Then we got the Mariners, who are also 1 game over 500. When we get to the month of June, we play the Dodgers 3 times. Then we play the White Sox, who are under 500. Then we play the Boston Red Sox. Then we are on the road in Queens playing the Mets. Then we come back with a series against Boston, then another series against Seattle, then against Texas, and then against Oakland and the St. Louis Cardinals. So over the next 2 months, over the next month and a half, we have 3 to 4 series against teams that are either 1 game over 500 or under 500, right? I think those games is 4, 8, 12. We got 12 to 15 games against those type of teams. We have to win every one of those games. Every one of those games in order for us to make
beat up on those teams.
We have to beat up on this team. We have to beat up on St. Louis. We have to beat up on Oakland. We have to beat up on Seattle. We have to beat up on Chicago. We have to beat up on San Diego. We got Cincinnati coming up this weekend. Those are the teams that we have to take advantage of. That is the light part of our schedule. That's when we lock in, and that's when we start killing teams against those teams.
And hopefully we're at full strength for once. If everybody can stay healthy, we get all these guys back, and these bats catch on fire. I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing with Volpe. Man, is that exciting? Him and Judge. Woo!
Oh man,
Judge is on fire too, man. When he goes, the Yankees go, and it's happening.
Hold on one second, because Sunil just said, "Watch the Mets call up Gary Sanchez."
Yeah,
you know what's crazy? When it comes to
so.
Gary Sanchez, hold on, because his stats. Hold on, where's it at?
What did he hit? 1 home
in
run
the minors? I think in Syracuse he had a couple of home runs in the minors. Hold on one second.
Balls.
With Syracuse, he has 1 home run, 1 RBI. He had 4 hits. He rose his batting average from 160 to 211 in the minors. So maybe Gary Sanchez figures it out with the Mets. If I'm a Met fan, I'm not banking on it, but hey, you never know. Crazier things have happened in baseball.
Grace in the chat had a little statement I wanted to point out. She thinks that the pitch clock has messed up Nestor. What do you think about that?
Ooh, Grace, that is a great point, because when it comes to Nestor, last year, specifically more last year, he was trying to keep the hitters off balance. So he would take a lot of time in between pitches, or he would try to quick pitch somebody. Now the hitters, they're ready. They're in that batter's backs, and they're ready to go. So when it comes to it, Grace, that is a great point. With Nestor Cortez, maybe that's why his cutter is not cutting, because he doesn't have the amount of time that he needs in between pitches. I'm not too sure. I'm not a pitcher. I don't know about that. I don't know about that kind of stuff. All I do is just talk mess on YouTube. That's all I do. But Grace, that is a great point, because you never know. That may be a reason.
Yeah, it's benefited Cole, but maybe it's messed up Nestor. So I don't know. And I haven't seen him do too many of the crazy windups and the Louis Tiant style.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that easy.
Yeah, I don't know
I haven't seen that either.
what's changed. I don't know if Matt Blake's told him to stay away from that, or maybe he's just lost some confidence. I don't know.
Vikings, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope Nestor Cortez figures it out ASAP. If you guys can you please smack that like button? We got 32 likes. We're trying to get to 40. So please smack the like button. Help us get up to 40 likes. We got 30 people that are in the building. We are sitting at 549 when it comes to subs. So if you're watching and if you aren't sub, hit that subscriber button. It helps us out wonderfully with the algorithm. What are you doing with your life? TC, any last points before we get up out of here? Because we're closing up to that time. It's 12:09, about
I
to
don't
be
want to
12:10.
leave, man.
We got my friend. We got my guy Nathan Ramachandra from the NNR Hour. Nathan, how you doing? This Thursday is going to be a special one because I have Julian and Nathan, they both cover the Somerset Patriots. So I'm going to have Julian on. We got Dan coming on, who does the prospect report over for NYY News TV. Nathan, if you're free this Thursday, text me and let me know. I would love to have you on with both Dan and with Julian so we could talk about the prospects that are at Somerset, what the Yankee fans have to look forward to when it comes to these young prospects. So, Nathan, if you're free this Thursday, shoot me a text. Let me know. Nathan says we are covering Luis Severino's rehab assignment tonight in Somerset. That's what I'm talking about, Nathan. Nathan, if you have any interviews with your guy, Luis Severino, let me know. Shoot me a video. I'll play it just like I did for the Jason Dominguez video. If you guys remember, I played that interview with Jason Dominguez. Nathan is who I got it from. That's the guy who interviewed him. Him and Julian, they do amazing work over there covering the Somerset Patriots. Nathan, I know I've been saying that I have to get over there to Somerset to link up with you, but I definitely have to get over to Somerset to link up with you and Julian, bro.
And don't forget Andres Chaparro, please.
Yes, our friend Andres Chaparro. Nathan's working on getting another interview set up with Andres Chaparro. So hopefully he could tag me in like this is WWE, baby. But like I said, guys,
Hector,
smack that like button. Help us out.
You want to let everybody know about our new schedule for Yankees Morning Brew? Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I forgot myself. So, yes, guys, so you know, starting next week, the Yankees Morning Brew will be Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? So starting next week, the open panels will be exclusively on Fridays. Fridays will be for open panels. Tuesdays and Thursdays will be the regular type of show, but Fridays is for the open panels. There you go, TC. Thank you. You're doing your job, bro. You're doing the job better than me.
No, it's okay. You're the hardest working man in this industry right now. I tell you, this guy don't sleep. Everybody, he don't sleep.
The Yankee Clipper, not Monday through Friday. No. I need Monday and Wednesday off because I also do work over on Grunts Baseball. Right, Monday through Thursday, I do a show on Grunts Baseball called the MLB Pregame Report, where I cover all Major League Baseball. A lot of it is Yankees, but I do cover the entire league. We talk about betting. We talk about over and unders. I give the run lines. I give my predictions. So if you're someone that's interested in the betting lines and stuff, come on over to Grunts Baseball so we can have those conversations Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. And also on Friday on NYY News TV, we got Get Yanked with my brother Jiggerman Porto over there with Pete Seminetti over there on NYY News TV. We do a lot of work. Over here, baby.
A lot of good content, guys. You got to be following this guy. Hector, Jigga, come on, Pete. They do great things for our industry. Tats, don't forget Pinstripe Chronicles. Tune into his show.
Yes, Pinstripe, and then also Pinstripe Express, which is starting at the end of the month with Uncle Tats and with Mazza from 4 Train Express. That's going to be also Yankee Clipper. I appreciate you, my guy. Salute, 3 capital S's. Li Yankee King says Jigga has spent Hector's money, so it's a fun time. 100%, Li. 100%. He loves to spend my money. That's 100% true. Man. Lorenzo Cordona. Okay, dope. Good to know. I need to get on the open. But yes, you do, Enzo. Yes, you do, bro. You need to get up on the open panel, my guy.
2 people on the show. Yeah.
And also, too, Lorenzo, send my love to your moms, bro. She was an awesome person. Meeting her at the event, she was awesome, bro. She is a diehard Yankee fan. Let her know that I send my love to her. Casey Funtime, my guy, appreciate you always jumping on the panel. I've been waiting for the Chaparro mention. You know, we mention my friend Chaparro all the time.
He says that on his show all the time. He says Hector loves Chaparro.
That's a fact. I love me some Andre Chaparro. Jerry Cadell, I appreciate you, Jerry. Again, happy anniversary to you and your wife. 50+ years strongs. My brother Anthony Medina, I appreciate you. He says, I hope he does figure it out because I won't lie, I'm concerned for Nesta. Medina, I love you, my guy.
That's the guy I want to see on open panel. Can we get Medina on the open panel?
Medina, one of these Fridays, you got to be able to come up on an open panel, Medina. Jonathan says, is there an open panel? Yes, there will be an open panel this Thursday. This Thursday will be the last open panel on Thursdays before we move it over to Friday, and Fridays will be the open panels moving forward. Just so you guys know, the Knicks Morning Brew is also going on a hiatus because we're going to do a once-a-week Knicks show. Just pay attention. Just keep on subbing. You get the news when it comes to that once-a-week Knicks show so we can talk about Knicks. But this week is going to be a dope show. We got JD from Knicks Fan TV. He's going to be on the show on Wednesday. And then Friday, we're going to be doing a recap of the season. We're going to have different Knicks content creators on the channel. Is on the show, I should say. It's going to be awesome. So you guys don't want to miss that. Pay attention. Keep on subscribing. Hit that like button. And you guys are going to be on a great ride. Trust me. Viking says basketball sucks. Well, listen. Listen, Vikings, if I can make you a Knick fan, bro, trust me, I'll try my best to make you a Knick fan. But TC, any last words, any last things we got to talk about before we get out of here? Anything sitting on your mind? What is festering up there, bro?
Well, I like what we're doing. I like the momentum that's going into this game. We got to get to, I think it's Gosman we're facing today. Just get to him early. And just do some of the same stuff. I want to see Volpe just keep his hot streak and Judge. I love what's happening. I'm just looking forward to some of these guys coming back and seeing what this team can do. You know, close to full strength. You know, I want to see. I just want to see championship caliber baseball that we're promised. You know, that's what we've been promised for a long time. Let's start seeing that, and let's cut down on some of the mistakes. And it was a great show. Scott Braun, that was awesome interview with him, having him on the show. Hector, you do great work as always. Love the chat. Shout out to this great community, this great chat. And again, Hector, just having me on. It's a pleasure being on here. Yankees Morning Brew. I just want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart, man. I
appreciate you, TC. Appreciate the work that you bring to the channel. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. My guy Joe G Marino is in the chat. Joe, how you doing? Salute, 3 capital S's. But also, too, appreciate my friend Scott Braun for jumping onto the show. If you guys can, please go over to Foul Territory. Show those brothers some love over there because Scott doesn't have to come on our channel. We're a very small channel that's out there, and Scott doesn't have to take time out of his day to come on our channel. Also, AJ Przinsky, our guy, Eric Kratz, Adam Jones, they do amazing work over there. But like always, peace, salutations. We got a giveaway coming from Homage, so we're going to close it out with the Homage video. Don't worry. We will be dropping it this week. Peace out, guys. We out.
Peace.
For the colors that we bleed in the field, the pressure is insanity cause we don't do L's, nah. And it's everything they said it would be. The lights get even brighter than you'd ever believe. Yeah. It's game time. Is you built for this? These colors is forever infinite. Blowing orange everything.